Yep. So I, d- I think that was part of the issue, Matt, we were having earlier, um, because of our group count. So I don't think it's streaming on Facebook
Okay, maybe not.
I
But
went
I
to
live.
do
your
have a little recording
I
thing
went
for
to your
all of you
site on
guys now.
Facebook and I can't see anything.
Not there. Okay.
We don't. The group doesn't have enough people. Oh, but I did just get an alert that we're live on YouTube.
YouTube. So
Ooh.
nobody's watching that, I promise. Not right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so hey, Anne, do me a favor. Do you see on your control panel, like you can adjust the volume that other people hear you? Do you see that little slider bar like next to your microphone and camera? Your mic.
I see. Okay.
Do you see what I'm talking about? It should be on the, like where you see the green, like your voice when you talk. You see the little meter.
No, but I know where that is.
Anyway, if you can find it, just maybe dial it down a little. It's real nice and loud.
Oh wow, yeah, it was on full. Is that better?
Yeah, it is better. Mine was too, and I don't know if I'm too loud. Let me know so we can get the balance here for everybody.
How's mine? I just
yours is
turned it
actually
down
kind
a
of
little
quiet,
bit.
Kendra.
It's quiet.
Yours
Maybe
could
I
be
should
louder.
turn it all the way up.
Yeah,
That's where it was, but
yeah,
is that better?
maybe a little bit.
Okay, I'll just go all the way up.
Crank it. You're good.
I'm soft-spoken, so we'll crank it.
Exactly.
It's the soft-spoken ones you got to keep a hold of anyway.
Yes.
Oh, we lost somebody. She'll be back. Okay, so we did a little bit of introduction. So Ed and Candace introduced themselves. Jonathan and Kendra, you guys want to do a brief?
Yeah, go ahead, Jonathan.
Great. I'm Jonathan Shealy. I'm here in Southeast Wisconsin. I'm an executive coach, strategist, business analyst, working with small business, medium-sized business owners and leadership groups. From anything from one-on-one productivity coaching to full-size like business strategy. Bake myself in as a fractional strategy officer. I do some speaking, I do some team training, and I do some all company speaking as well. I've known Matt for what, 2 years?
Yeah, coming up
close to that.
Year and a half.
We went through Donald Miller's Business Made Simple certification together. So, and neither of us stick around.
No.
What? You what?
We went through Donald Miller's Business Made Simple certification.
Yeah.
As far as like business coaching goes, and neither of us retained our memberships afterwards. I think that there was a lot of value there, but Coach Builder kind of took over. They pivoted their business model, so we opted out.
Didn't quite. Yeah, wasn't quite the.
I still use the materials in like a, I have scrubbed them and used them the way that I want to. I think a lot of the principles were on point, but the way that they took their business model didn't allow for me to continue working as a current member.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's an expensive membership to maintain too, because I looked into it for the marketing side, because they had a marketing branch of that wasn't business coaching, helping people with messaging and stuff like that. So that kind of leads into what I do. My name's Kendra Noel, and I have a digital marketing strategy business. So I help small business owners and mostly service-based business owners with their digital marketing strategy.
Yes, she does. LinkedIn especially, but branching out, right?
Yeah, LinkedIn has been my focus for the last few years.
Yep. Nice. Yeah. And we met through Deanna, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, which is adjacent to the Business Made Simple Coach Builder stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I've done a lot of those classes and stuff, or read Donald Miller's books and things like that as well.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. I know Candace has to go. She can't even stay the whole time. So let's just dive in here a little bit. Thanks for the intros. Welcome, everybody. It's great to have you. I really want to grow this group. Like, I think this could be a really powerful thing as we kind of figure out, what it is we're really honed in on. We know, and like get better at it. And I'm hoping that it's just super valuable for people. That's my hope here, is like, this is, something everybody looks forward to and wants to dig into more. So I thought I would start today by, and let me reiterate this. I was talking about it last week, but I'm not here to like teach this class or something. I'm here. My number one reason actually for starting this was for myself to have a community of people who want to progress in this way, because I feel like I need to. And so I'm super interested in these topics and this kind of stuff, but the group, I think we're all going to benefit from each other. So I may be here to facilitate and sort of, give direction or whatever, but I'm not here to like teach or act like I know everything about what's going on. I'd rather just have us all like sharing what we can. With that said, I did have a way I'd like to open the meeting, and that is just a little bit of like quiet reflection for a minute. And the question I thought we could think about for just a second is twofold. What is the most pressing thing on your mind right now, like on your heart, like that you feel, a little bit of weight or anxiety, or just it's important? And part two of the question is, what's motivating that? I'll just leave it open-ended. What's motivating that, the urgency for that? Let's just take a minute and then we'll get back together on it. Okay, and then optional, fully optional, but encouraged, sharing time. So what came up for you? And I can go first if it's helpful. For me, it's sort of the tension between like short-term needing to grow in like a very like a classic monetary sense, like grow the business, make more revenue, make more income, pay for things. We had an unexpected tax bill here in October when everything finally wrapped up. It's pretty significant. This business has been great. It's growing, but like it needs to continue to grow, all that kind of stuff. So it's like, it pulls me towards short-term thinking versus like long-term impact, like what I would do if money didn't matter. Those two things can be at odds sometimes. And so the motivator is, when I'm like in that mode, is scarcity, I would say, like basically fear. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Well, I'm glad you went first, but mine's pretty much in line with that. I put financial stress as the most pressing thing on my mind, and the motivation behind that just being needs that keep arising. Like you said, sometimes like you can anticipate some of them and some of them you can't.
Totally.
But it does kind of distract you from goals and stuff at times.
Totally. Nice.
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, similar. We took a bit of a hit in a business sense with a couple of sort of side ventures in the last 6 months. I guess it's got me thinking more about like, and maybe a good thing, because before there was more like our day to day, you know, because our business is weird in that we make more for every session we do, but there's a limit to the amount of energy and emotional space that we have to do more and more, right? So it's hard to scale. Um, and and so I just, because of that, I've been realizing that I just want to kind of change my mindset, because even since I just started to write this book, I've had a couple of breakthroughs, and it's mostly fear. It's like I've been thinking about that, Matt. Like, what would I do if money wasn't an issue? That's actually hard for me to wrap my mind around, because I'm really money. I think I'm more money driven than is good for me, um, and so I just like, you know, because then I have this picture of us, you know, in Mexico in 10 to 15 years, still working if we want to, doing, you know, classes, teaching, training, consulting. And I believe all that is possible, but it seems like a far off. So sometimes it feels pretty far off. So I like Matt. Matt and I go back about 8 years, and I really respect him. And yeah, so that's a little bit. Sorry, that's kind of a long answer, but that is a little bit of what came up and what I've been thinking about.
Nice. Yeah, thanks, man. Anybody else want to jump in?
Sure, I'll jump in. For me, it's kind of a combination of a lot of things. I'm really wanting a success for our business. I've got my physical health I'm thinking about, financial success, and then of course, and then there's the family success, because our kids are, you know, and we'll be empty nesters soon, and you know, our 21-year-old still at our house. We don't know how much longer that's gonna. But it's all right here, you know. I'm very much consumed by family, and I think there's a, as far as the most pressing, I would say that is most pressing. And when it comes to financial success, I would love to be able to help our kids, you know, in ways that they may need it. But in the same respect, it's not totally necessary. I know I didn't have any help, you know, so it's,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's a lot. They're all urgent.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's for me, I'm wrapped up not just in the fight or flight, you know, at the Maslow's level, getting food on the table, making sure that I'm building the environment for my family where they can thrive with two little ones, and at the same time trying to balance like the here and now with like leaving the legacy that I want for my kids, not just the security that maybe I was taught to look for in a W-2 job, and trying to learn how to incorporate a family mindset, like a family mindset around business. And that's totally different. It's opposing way of thinking for my families, for my parents and my in-laws and the connected, you know, family network, if you want to say it that way. So it's tension, because it's not just the building, because yeah, if I had to answer all their financial questions, I wouldn't have the right answers that they would think, oh, well, you should skip out and go do something else because it's not working. But I full well know that if this, that, or the other thing would work out, it would be more than functional, more than, you know, it's much more than their W-2s. So
Right.
yeah, just trying to balance the right decision-making process at a time, take things in order. I think that was one of the more challenging parts to the first chapter, actually, was learning how to prioritize what comes next. Vision has never been a problem of mine. Pushing myself to dream bigger is a little scary because my dreams are already pretty stinking big. So I'm kind of like, I'm not sure how much bigger I can go. And and keep things balanced within like my life, right? It's not like this is the only thing that I'm doing.
Right. Did you catch in there, like I've been, we're just kind of like marinating in this intro chapter 1, right? So it's like, did you catch in there this week when I was re-listening to it? It was like most people miss the entire definition of 10x. Did you guys catch that part?
Kind of. I don't remember what it is though.
Yeah, well, they get in there and talk about it a few different times. I don't know if maybe there's a succinct definition. I didn't know that, write that part down or anything, but like what Candace and I were talking about before everybody jumped on, like it's much more qualitative than quantitative.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so that's what I was thinking about when I was thinking about this question to ask, essentially, because when you boil everything down, the question I want to ask for myself, and I think one of the ways I want to point the group is like, is this thinking, like, is my mindset and the emotions that power it and everything, is it rooted in, I think if you boil everything down, it's like, is it rooted in fear and scarcity, or is it rooted in love? Right. It's like those two things are opposite.
Right.
And if you're motivated by love, I mean, everybody has love and we're motivated, but it's like, if that's your guiding sort of authority versus the fear and scarcity being the guiding authority, how does that look different? Like what actually changes, in decisions that we make, like Jonathan, what you're talking about, like what everybody was talking about, basically. It's like, does that make sense? Like, what do you guys think about that?
Well, I think he kind of addresses that specifically when he addresses people who are driven by hope. And like that's an analytical term that they coin because of the research that they're doing. People who have vision, they call them hope, people filled with hope. But at the same time, I think it's a helpful term even for our conversation at the moment, because the hope is the embodiment of what I'm going to keep going, right? Like there's something that can be done and I'm going to continue to work towards it. It's not like blind desire. It's, I can see the connection between what I'm supposed to do and how it's going to happen and how it's going to impact people, versus if I do this, it's going to go poorly, right? What happens if is such a dangerous and opposing way of thinking and frame of mind for someone who wants to have a vision. What could happen if generally is posed negatively instead of positively? And if you can, if for myself, if I can turn the corner in my mind in a self-talk moment, if I can turn the corner from what happens negatively to what happens positively, like that's a win. And that's a hard win to get if you're looking towards something that's huge, right? But I think that really is what he is distinguishing between this slow and incremental change of 2x and the lasting qualitative 10x change that's just drastically different than everything you can think of today. Like the idea of replacing 80% of myself with a 20% that I'm doing today, and having to replace that whole 80% with something new, that was kind of what I was gripping on today. Like that's what I was really chewing on, trying to figure out what 80% can I get rid of?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So yeah, exactly. So like, what's the lens or the filter? Like what's in the strainer? If you're going to dump everything in there 100% and like you want 20% to come out and it's the right 20%, right? Then what's in the filter that that catches the other 80?
It's a great question.
Oh, Ed, you're muted. Ed, you're muted.
You're muted.
Come
There you go.
on.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh,
wait.
there you go. Got
There you
it.
So I was thinking about the same thing, and that is even what Dan Sullivan said, I think after chapter 2, talking about how he gave up TV for 5 years ago. And so just yesterday, I was messing with this, thinking about this. Because Candace and I, we kind of destroyed our house for just a minute. Where we're moving rooms, moved a lot of tables and chairs around. It was, for a minute, it was like so overwhelming. And then we talked about it like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and Candace is much more steady than I am. I'm more up and down. And we both kind of said, well, if we just kind of just knock this out little by little by little, it'll be fine, right? And by 4 hours later, it was actually feeling really good. And so it made me think about this idea of, the 80-20 piece that I guess made me think of that I spend a lot of time doing things that aren't really necessary, and they don't even bring me that much joy or love. Just I kind of, there are ways that I unplug, and I was thinking, like, even if I was to the amount of time that I spend watching TV or Netflix, if I was reading or writing like 1/10 of that time, like that would be mine. That would be life changing. And then the other piece I was thinking about is that, just the fear piece. Like I can feel like cortisol and fear, like sometimes rising up. Just even as I was listening to that book, it was like excitement, but then the fear would drop in of like, holy Hannah, like, think that big, like.
Yeah. Yeah. It should be at least a little scary, right?
Right. Mm.
So I think that my theoretical approach, like the way I think about it, is like, what if the 20% we're supposed to keep was only the 20% that was powered by love, and everything that was powered by fear is what's supposed to go? Is that real? Is that even really possible? To me, and then again, this is me making some connections here, so I don't know what everybody else is going to think about this, but to me, that's essentially another way of saying, seek first the kingdom and everything else will be added to you. So I'm curious what you guys will think about that, because I know that's typically like thought of in a different context, right? Like morality or whatever. But I think it's tied into potentiality and like what we're really capable of, and not letting fear or like common level thinking be the guide of what we're doing. Do I mean like every single thing we enjoy, just do that all the time, like play golf or whatever, like go on vacation? That's not what I mean, right? Like, I mean, the things that like we're made to do that are productive and redeeming to the world and stuff, like that other people benefit from, and that have substance, that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But does that make, like, do you see the connection I'm making? Does that make sense, or does that just seem like completely whacked out?
No, that totally makes sense. And the thing that stands out for me when we think about fear, and when you say it, it's, we got some fear, right? The way I think of it, fear and excitement can be very similar feelings, right? It's still usually mine is in the stomach, right? Could be fear too, but it's what we say to ourselves versus, that's the difference, right? And if the excitement versus fear, the excitement would be, oh my gosh, roller coaster is going to be so fun and so scary, but I'm excited. Whereas fear is like, we're going to die,
Right. Yeah.
like it's very different, different message. That's kind of how I think of those two things. And same with, anxiety. And I think fear and anxiety is the same thing.
Yeah, and I should qualify too. Like when I say fear, I feel like the best way to distinguish it is like capital F fear and lowercase f fear. You know, so it's like you don't want to abolish fear, the emotion, like when my 2-year-old runs out in the street. Like I want fear to trigger and for me to react very quickly where nothing else matters but solving that problem right now.
And you know what? You don't even have to think about that.
No, right. It's innate and it's very important. It's very useful.
Oh,
You know, like none of that kind of fear, like everybody's dead because we just do, you know, I bet I could fly if I jump off this building, you know, like whatever. Like you're not gonna do that kind of stupid stuff. So you need that kind of fear. But I'm thinking like capital F fear, like it becomes a guiding authority in my life where it's like, well, the what if question, what happens if? And it's always like, what if it goes wrong? What if that oppressive type of fear that's like imaginary only? There's no real imminent danger. It's only like projection, you know? And so then like the question is, what are we projecting? Are we projecting forward based out of love, hope, all these things that we're talking about? And not just blind optimism, because that is probably just like another way of covering some other kind of fear, right? Just like it's not just dumb, oh, it's all going to work out, doesn't matter. Like you got to have some planning, you got to have some strategy, you got to apply reason, like all that
dude,
stuff.
darn it.
I know, right? But yeah, so it's like yeah, what you were saying I think is right on, right? It's like big picture, what's powering it.
Well, and I think to me, this is something that I've chewed on quite a bit on. If you look at the context, that's, Matthew 6, that seek first the kingdom of God. That's an active, and it's a comparative, instead of in the previous verse, 4 or 5 verses before, the question is, which of you can add to your height by pondering it? Like, if you sit and stew, it's not going to do anything. But instead, take action. And it's if you're going to have a concern, you take it to God and then you do something. And that's such an important reminder to me, like, and actually like really pairs up well with what Ed said. Like there are so many things that we as a culture have allowed to become dominant that are actually just neutralizing action. Like and we fall prey to them. And as entrepreneurs, we don't have that kind of time. We don't have the bandwidth to just let our minds be sucked out of our heads, like that's just not like you have to use the time that you have, and you need downtime that is filling your soul, not taking from your soul. And I don't mean that like in a spiritual soul sense, but like in a holistic health sense. You have to have something that is beautiful and relatable and healthy, and from a food and relationships and a beauty and nature kind of perspective. Like if you're gonna not be working, do something that's filling your head and your soul. Don't be doing something that's taking away from it, because when you're doing something that takes away from it, I'll tell you, when I get to the point where we're watching too much TV, or if I'm spending too much time on my phone, that's when the fear creeps in. And I was listening to some poetry several months ago, and this quote has really stuck with me through this season. And the long poem, but here's just one sentence that I really love: is many fears are born from fatigue and loneliness. And I think about my life when I'm by myself and I'm tired. That's when I'm tempted to be the most fearful. But when I've rested and I'm spending time with people, I'm a lot more confident to do things the way that I'm supposed to. And it's it puts you into a mindset of productivity, not in the sense of like I'm getting more done, but just I'm gonna get the right things done because I'm not scared and I'm not
Because we're
tired.
doing less better.
Yeah, right.
But dude, I wrote that down. I want to make that like a tagline for the group, because
what did you write down, Matt?
many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like I had this in my notes for today. It's like I didn't even talk about it, but the purpose of the group. Well, we know the purpose of the group, right? Internal to external growth and like living out of that. But how I hope that plays out is similar to like a CrossFit gym. You know, I always go back to that model for things I like to do, the community stuff, because I compare CrossFit to like going to 24-hour fitness. So I can get a gym membership and just go to the gym at 2 a.m. and work out with my headphones on and go home, you know. Or you can join CrossFit where you're like always with other people who are on a similar mission and journey, right? It's like now you're in a community thing, and it's not just like another item on your list of all the stuff to do. It kind of represents like a shift,
Mm.
a holistic shift, right? Because you're taking CrossFit home with you, from what I understand of it. It's like, not that I've ever done it, but you think you get the model, right? It's like it goes home with you, because now it's like what you're eating, how you're recovering, what you're doing in between time, like who you're talking to, what you're talking about. I just think that I could see this group, a hope I have for this group is that we're more connected than just like once a week on Monday. And it's more than just an item of like a checklist, right? Because if you want to have an immersive shift, another example I wrote down is like taking Spanish class versus moving to Mexico for a year. You know, like the way and the like the quality of the Spanish you're going to learn is going to be wholly different in those two scenarios.
Hey, Matt, have you thought about like creating like a Google Doc or something that would be like a living document that we could, I mean, there's always like email threads, but something like that where we could like have this thing that shows you can, you know, like I could put a date on it, like just throwing out a question to the group, and if people see it or not. I'm just thinking something like that might be cool.
I was going to ask about that, like a communication channel, you know, that works, that's like people will use, that is kind of readily available, you know.
We use one group that I have, we use Signal. That seems to work pretty good too.
Wow. I didn't.
Well, the thing that I was, it's like a messaging app.
Yeah.
But the thing that I was going to say is that, like, here's a quick example. In my work, one of the things that I am putting together, I'm trying to change my language, that I'm putting together is a thing called therapy intensives. It's basically where we've had a couple to come in for 3-4 hours a day for 1 to 3 days, get like a intensive experience of therapy instead of it dragging out for, it can get, sometimes people can get 2 or 3 months of work done in like 3 days. And I can literally charge like 4 or 5 times what I charge now. And I have friends and colleagues around the world who've been doing this, and I've been putting it off for like a year. And so I implemented it. The thing that I did is I texted 3 of my colleagues and asked them if I could talk to them about it. All 3 of them texted back and said, sure. And I have downloaded some information, started working on it. But I can even feel the fear coming up, even as I'm doing it, because the little voice in my head goes, either no one will show up, or they'll show up and you won't have the goods, Ed. You won't be able to really deliver it, and people will be like, I paid $5,000 for what?
Yeah.
So you hear that voice?
Imposter syndrome. Yeah. That's on the flyer.
But I'm proud. But I'm proud that I mean, just in the last week since you turned me on to that book, Matt, I've started.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
See, that's fantastic. That's exactly the type of thing that we're going for here. I think it's like, you know, the one thing, right? Like you already knew it. Now, people may show up in this group and like kind of have to work through figuring that out. You kind of already had it in mind.
But I hadn't done anything.
No, I know, but you hadn't done anything with it, right? And then you're probably doing a whole bunch of other crap, you know?
Right.
So that's the thing. It's like, and Jonathan, you're saying like, what do I fill the other, if I get rid of 80%, what do I fill that with? And I think the point is nothing except for expanding your 20, right? It's not more different stuff.
Right. Because maybe and by the way, I put a little Jamie Short in there about how to unlearn fear, which is a little video that I like. But I was just thinking, I think that's it, because you see, like I was doing it this morning. I was trying not to hurry. And so I was just walking through Walmart, like to buy some stuff, but I walked slowly, and I noticed having some cool thoughts about things. And my mind felt a lot more relaxed and like creative. but usually I'd be hustling through Walmart so fast, trying to get this and that, and being late, and then I'm more anxious.
Totally. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think that's
All right.
the key to some of this is it feels, I mean, success feels like you have to constantly be working and get, go, and there's no balance. I mean, that it can get to that place, and I think that's a lot of what, the fatigue and the loneliness kicks in, and then we're like, we get the F-its. You all know what F-its are, right? F-its. Okay.
Well, and the thing is, and
got
did you guys see it? It was either, oh yeah, did you all see the movie Oppenheimer? Okay, if you haven't
Yes, but
seen it,
no, I fell asleep and I never went
if
back
you
and
haven't
watched
seen
it
it,
again.
you should see it. And there's one time where he's visiting Einstein at Princeton, and Einstein would go on these walks around this lake, and he would just sit there, sometimes for hours. And that's when he got his most like creative work done.
Yeah.
And then he'd go back to his office, but I think he said something about that, like you have to slow down and like let your brain like.
That's, I don't know if you read ahead or whatever, like that is in the book, like how you divide up time and how we prioritize time. I'll preview it a little bit. He goes into how high performers like artists, stage performers, athletes, what their weeks look like and what their days look like. And he basically says what he discovered. Well, I guess Dan Sullivan was an actor as a younger man, but he's like, you essentially have three types of days. You have practice days or preparation, training, practicing. You have performance days, which are the least frequent, but they're like, everything is geared towards the performance. And then you have recovery, and recovery has an equal or higher status. It's like very important. It's not just shoved aside like 2 weeks a year when you go on vacation. It's like built in regular cadence.
Matt,
right?
can you really quick say that one more time? The three types are what?
Like preparation, performance, and recovery. Yeah. And it's whole days or big chunks of days dedicated to each, not like corporate America 30-minute windows 16 times a day, like all broken up into these little bite-sized chunks where you have to context switch all the time, and you just never like settle into any one thing. Were you going to say something, Candace?
Balance. I think it makes sense because when we're striving for something, it's so common to get out of balance. Just, not just lack of sleep, but it could be not eating healthy, or, the stress of everything. And then, and if there's ever addiction that sneaks in there, it's, I think I'll just have a glass of wine. And all of that is just, it's like you say, you got to prioritize those recovery days. I think that's critical. That's my favorite, actually.
Right, totally. I think and I think the high achievers are like people who've made 10x jumps. When they reflect back, they're going to tell you, like, agree with what they're saying in the book, is that none of the creative spark, none of the big idea that made the big difference never came when I was like intensely busy with 20 things on my mind and running 100 miles per hour. Like it's never when that comes. It's
right.
like when you have a heart attack and you're laying in the hospital for a week. It's like,
right.
Then you actually have.
Well, and then you have no choice, right?
Yeah.
Your body's like, you're done, right? We don't want to get to that point.
No, let's not get to that point. Exactly.
No, yeah, exactly.
So I'm sitting here thinking, like, I feel like this fatigue and loneliness is one of the biggest enemies, or two of the biggest enemies, but that idea, and that it made me think how we may need to spend a little more time unlearning things first before we start learning things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the stripping away and the laying down of things, and like the becoming aware of what's driving us and how we're functioning, I think maybe that's like our big task rather than just jumping in like what to do.
Yeah, that's why I put in the chat the book that changed my life, which is the Radical Elimination of Hurry.
Yeah.
I mean, that book freaked me out, and I don't do it very well at all.
No, it's super hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Candace, how are you on time? Do you know if you're going to have to?
But the thing is, remember when we, oh, sorry.
I was just asking about my time. I'm okay. I got 7 minutes. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm assuming they'll be here on time.
Yeah, right.
But I was just going to say, isn't this, we talked about this, Matt, like in the Gospels, it talks about Jesus, like, you know, like being at a wedding for 3 days. And just like, he didn't rush around, I don't think. I think that, you know, and he'd go off to pray by himself. And it seemed like he lived a relatively, I mean, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like he was rushing around.
Slow paced life. Yeah. If you want, I'm going to throw lots of book references. We could probably all do it, you know, but there's that one, The 3 Mile Per Hour God, because like how fat, the speed of walking.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, you could definitely go down that track for sure. I mean, I think you're right on.
Well, and that's part of the unlearning. Is the slowing down, and in our society, it's not really celebrated. Type A people are celebrated.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So it's. Yeah.
And busyness is conflated with productivity. They talk about that in the book quite a bit. So I want to, like, I get in this discussion with my wife, you know, and she's like she's very high achieving, like, you know, she likes to keep it moving. And we talk about this, and I think her fear, and even mine, like when I'm honest about it, I think a lot of people's fear is like, well, if you start talking about all this stuff, then what are you going to do? You're just going to become like a lazy bum or something. You know, it's like it's just going to turn into nothing. And that's just so not the point. You know what I mean? Like that is not what we're talking about. It's really just reversing the flow of what is driving things. You know, it's from like external to like make myself feel valuable because I'm so busy or productive, you know, or like looking good to the world or whatever it is, to like figuring out what are the important things that I should really go all in on, and knowing, like trusting, I guess, that doing that will have a much greater impact. Like it will create real productivity. Like you're actually, good stuff will happen. That other people can notice, you know, and that will like get you paid and stuff like that. Like that will happen.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put this out for the next week. I'm going to eliminate TV.
What?
You're gonna be watching Netflix by yourself, and that makes sense because we just finished a great show last night called the House of Guinness.
It was really
so cool. I got my full, but I'm gonna try it, and I'm gonna see what happens. Like how I might maybe like I'm gonna try to not watch TV and instead maybe just like stroll around my backyard or neighborhood and maybe see if there's some creative thoughts that come up.
That's just brilliant. It's like actually perfectly applying what we were just talking about, like what needs to get eliminated.
So this morning I actually took a lot of time and I renegotiated all of my focus settings on my phone to do something similar. So I set it up with automation. So instead of me having to click over into a focus zone, it does it when I hit a location at a time of day. And like, I even adjusted like the filter settings to be less bright. Like I need to be less concerned. I need to be less drawn away from notifications. So I've done away with, I don't have any badge icons, notifications. They don't sit. I don't want to see how many notifications I have on stuff.
Yeah.
I don't they don't stay in my notification panel at any time of day. And then for most, like all of the social apps, I've just turned off any notifications at all.
And it
'Cause
is that because if you want to go to Facebook, you just go to Facebook, right?
right. And I actually don't even have Facebook and Instagram on my phone anymore. I
Yeah.
still have LinkedIn because that's like a functional place for business, but if I'm going to do Facebook or Instagram, I do it on my desktop. And let me tell you, since changing that, I have had so much less anxiety because I'm not seeing news.
Is that on an iPhone?
Yes.
So how would I do that?
Yeah. Need a tutorial.
Yeah, I should do a screen recording.
Do a Loom. Yeah. Be perfect.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to do it on my phone. But
I
yeah,
would love to see that because
Yeah, you can do that.
I
don't know.
I hate all those damn things.
yeah, I'll do it. I absolutely, I'll do it for you, man. Because it is. So my wife did this. I don't know, 6-7 months ago. So she stays home with our kids, and she was getting so caught up with how many people were trying to communicate with her that it's not that they don't matter, but they're not 6 and 20 months and needing to be fed, bathed, clothed, stayed alive, that kind of thing. So she would get to the point at the end of the day where she just had so many notifications, she didn't even want to look at her phone because there were just so many there. And so she started turning things off, getting rid of apps, and she just breathed so much better. And I go, I got to do that. Like, and it's easy for me to say, oh, it's for business that I'm on this, and this. Like I have to make sure that I'm here, this, but I have automation set up. Like that's the whole point of automation is if someone downloads a PDF, they're going to get 2 points of contact before I even see it. Like that's the whole point. So I don't need to be worried about people sending them, and I can do a half day, turn around if someone shoots me a DM, that kind of thing. So like to me, that was one of the big like elimination is quit being the slave of the tech and use the tech for my own benefit.
Dude.
Yeah.
Amen.
I think for me, I have to be more conscious of that. I've actually had some discussions with my husband about that this week. Since I'm a social media manager and I need to be on social media frequently, it gets to be like all consuming sometimes to where I'm never off of social media. And I'm like posting for other businesses, but then there's also like idea generation. So a lot of times I'm scrolling through reels and stuff like generating ideas for future content, things like that. And then sometimes it's a downtime thing too, right? Where like I've cooked dinner, I've loaded the dishwasher, I'm going to go lay on the couch and just scroll social media. But I've been on social media all day because that's my job. So I need to be more aware of like taking some intentional time off of it. So I like that idea that Jonathan had. And then when you were talking about all the notifications and stuff, it kind of brought up, like I've been in a support role for years and years, and I've always had a hard time understanding as a support person why the CEO or the boss or whatever never gets back to you when you have important stuff that you need to do to drive the business forward. But now kind of being in more of like a CEO or leadership role and like having so many notifications every day and just the overwhelm of it, now I understand a little bit more. Well, even though it's important, why they're not always getting back to you right away. So
Right.
That's so true. The owners that I work with, they are the slowest to return my communication, but they're always thorough when they do. And I would rather there be 8 or 9 days in between communication and have real results in the response than for them to shoot me a quick email that has sent from my iPhone at the bottom, and it not actually have any like value to it.
yeah. I was talking to a CEO the other day and her responses were nonsense. They weren't answering the question at all. Like, I'm like, okay, that was only like maybe an eighth of what I messaged you about. So all these other things are unanswered. So yeah, intentionality to like get to those messages when you can, but not feel like you always have to answer a message in the moment, because it might come out as gibberish, or, you're not really answering the question.
Well, the thing is, I love that, because Kendra, don't you think that, like, if, for me at least, like if I'm going through my email and I'm not rushing, I'm not in a hurry, I'm more likely to have the ability to look at it and go, oh, that's a message from Matt. I actually want to, I want to respond right away because it's important. But if I pause and ask myself the question, like, how many of these things do I really need to respond to right now? Or is there something that's more like 20% that I could be doing now? Because I'm like a slave to that list of emails that comes in to me.
Yeah.
Totally. Plus, there's like the little dopamine hit or whatever when you get a notification and check it, right? So it's kind of addictive.
Yep.
Oh, it totally is addictive, and so is a clear inbox. It's like there's nothing better than an inbox with fewer emails than the window size.
Well, and that's something, Matt, that you were going to talk to me about, right? About putting, like on my Gmail, like putting filters on it, right?
Oh, I get it. Excuse me. Were we talking about that? Maybe, yeah. I mean, I do that a lot. Like
I thought you would. I thought you were,
or-
because it is. That's the thing you can do, right?
Yeah, you totally can. Yeah, for sure. Sorry.
And you should.
I love this though. Like I sorry, like, Candace had to go. I was going to see if she had one she wanted to contribute, but we can ask her if she wants to, if she has something, and get it. Figure out where
Like-
we're going to communicate here.
Like what?
Oh, I think it's cool. Like what? I think what are we going to like not do this week? I think that's a great.
Yeah, Matt, you and I were talking about the not to do list a couple of days ago or a couple of weeks ago, and I had to put quite a few things on there after talking or after listening to this chapter again. Just thinking about the things that I can put away now, but it also really pushed me into thinking about hiring as well. Like, how do I? So even in his explanation in the book, he was going through that real estate lady that had that hired the assistant, and I was just thinking, I have such a mental block around letting someone else do my work,
Huh.
and because the brand is built off of like a personality for the first time, like I've never done that before. All of the brands that I've worked on before as an employee or whatever, they were more neutral, right? They were a secondary, they weren't a person. And so like now that I'm working on a brand that's my name on it, it seems like, oh, I've got to be the one to do it. And there's so many facets to business that I could offload. I mean, I have to have the cash flow, right? It's not like I can just dream up the money for people to be able to do that. But like the reality is that there's parts to my business that as soon as I possibly can, I should be offloading them. And it doesn't make a difference in the end. It doesn't. It's a part of who I have thought I wanted to be that I'm trying to get rid of, which is the bootstrapped business owner.
Yeah.
Right. Like I thought that was cool, and now I don't.
How would you define that?
So when people use that, like I'm a bootstrapped business owner, it's that I'm doing it all. Like I've learned the code, I've built my website, I do all the marketing, I do all the sales, I deliver the content. Maybe they are the ones building a product as well. They're doing all their own logistics, whatever it is. They're saying I'm a one-man band.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them aren't actually truly a one-man band. They just don't have employees. They have partners. But a lot of times what they're saying is that they're trying to signal that that is the best way of doing it. And I just don't buy it. I don't buy the lie that it's a generalist that works in the end. Like to be a to be a consultant, to be a coach, I can't be the best at marketing, at bookkeeping, at sales. Like that's not who I am. So it's not just getting rid of the small things. It's also trying to like long-term think about the vision of getting rid of the stuff that not just doesn't drive me joy, but I know that I'm not going to be the best at. Even if I tried, even if I improved, it's not a part of the value creation that I need for my clients.
Well, you see, and I would say that goes back to like in psychology terms, being more in ego or being more in what I call being more in ego versus love. And I think that ego will drive me to do just that because, yeah, like it's like social media. It's like, look at me, look at my business. I am doing this. I'm so good. You know, I think that could, like, and that ultimately, I think that comes from fear, right? That if I have this feeling that it's so cool to be able to have people know that I'm a one-man band, like you're saying, Jonathan, instead of stepping back and saying, is this serving my true goals?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is so great because like, and are you thinking what I'm thinking? Like, this is the whole reason that like Free Flow CEO exists, is to facilitate this.
I saw Anne's smirk while I was talking.
It's like, I mean, this is this is like my reason for being, like this is what it is. It's like specialization of labor in a small business, even a solopreneur environment is what I think that I'm uniquely called to, like what Ann and I are out trying to solve is like give people resources in a team and an ability to, automate and delegate whatever their workload so that everyone utopia in my mind is everybody spends 100% of the time doing the stuff they're uniquely gifted at and sharing it with everybody else. And it's very idealistic, but if everybody was doing that, then you would have like whatever, nirvana. You'd have like this perfect, society, I guess. So it's like that's the BHAG for me, or the goal, or the big picture goal, is get people in that mode as much as they possibly can. It has to start with, I used to say it has to start with mindset. I now think it's deeper than that. Like it has to start with core belief and worldview and identity, like your view of yourself. So your view of yourself in the world and everything. And then how does that inform your mindset? How does that inform your decision making? How does it play out?
Yeah. I've done a little bit of like practice with that not to do list this week because I've had my daughter working for me for the last week and a half. I don't know that it's going to continue. Like it just realistically cash flow. And I don't know that she wants to be working for mom all the time. So she's still looking for a job. But in the meantime, I'm kind of like buffering that and allowing her to work for me. Yeah. So getting rid of some of the things that it's not necessarily the things I don't want to do. It's the things that I think she can easily pick up. Mm-hmm. So, but there's some fear there with like handing things over. Like Jonathan said, you want to be the one behind it and the one driving it. And it feels weird to give that to someone else, but it also feels kind of good to be able to work on client needs while she's working on needs for the business that I've given her and directed her to do. It's a little bit freeing, a little bit nerve-wracking.
Well, you see, this is so cool because I was just experiencing that last night because my son, my 21-year-old is a whiz at that little app called Video Leap. It's on the phone, and it's because he has a great Instagram channel because he's a mountain biker, right? And so I got him because I have a couple of podcasts and kind of a YouTube channel. And again, I'm just thinking I am so spread out, you guys. Oh my gosh, this is so good for me to see how many things I'm trying to do at the same time, right? Is that my son literally, I had him do some work for me 2 weeks ago, and I handed in 4 files that I wanted to get merged together for a video. He did it in like 15 minutes. But like last night, I was sitting with him, getting him to try to teach me how to use Video Leap, and I was not getting it because there's this thing inside me that thinks, well, I should be the guy who not just does the podcast, but who knows how to do the technology of putting it together. And I think that may be completely flawed.
Yeah. It comes so naturally to younger people. I was telling Matt that I've let her do TikTok and like those kind of videos for me because it's just like super natural for her. So giving that up, even though I enjoy it, it's not something I hate doing. I actually like to do that, but I think she can do it faster than I can, honestly.
Well, and also if you think monetarily, whatever you're paying her, right? If you were doing maybe more 20% stuff in that time that you would have been there, I don't know, like.
Okay. Can we do this? Jonathan, maybe would you pull up the app and share your screen?
For what app?
The one in the chat, I just put a link to the not to do list.
Okay.
You see that? Let's just try this because I'm built this tool and I want to refine it so that it's really useful. But it like quantifies everything that we're talking about right now, including the money.
Opportunity cost calculator.
Yeah. So it's like, because what you guys are talking about is going from a founder bootstrapper mindset to like a CEO mindset is one of the ways I talk about it. And it's like, the question goes from how can I get this done to how can this get done without me? And it's like, the more we train ourselves to ask that question, the more you start becoming like a distributor of work rather than a doer of work. And you like unlock yourself. Every time you do that, you unlock yourself again. Right.
So Matt, say that one more time. How can I get this done versus what?
How can I get this done versus how can this get done without me? And like, to me, that is a significant shift in default thinking, default mindset. From the bootstrapper and a lot of founders and entrepreneurs, small business owners never make that shift to like I just call it the CEO mindset, where the CEO, especially in a bigger company, is just never thinking about like doing the task. They're thinking about creating the infrastructure and supporting the people and the systems and whatever needs to happen for the things to get done. But they never think about doing it themselves. That's just not how they think.
You know,
right?
that you know, Matt, that makes me think of the movie.
Nope. Do we lose him? Who's sharing? I can't tell.
I am.
You are, okay.
Yep.
Ed just like just went.
Screen went black.
No, where'd you go? He'll be back hopefully. Live stream chat. Oh, Desiderata. Oh my gosh! I think that is on a poster in my bathroom. The Desiderata. I know it is actually. I just don't remember that little section. That's good. Well, hopefully he'll come back. But okay. Will you just walk through this real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You can see that, okay, Kendra?
Yeah.
Okay, so weird, the screen just changed. Oh, hey Ed, welcome back. So you were saying, Ed, you just totally cut out. What were you saying?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I was just saying in one of the early scenes in The Social Network, when Zuckerberg was still at Harvard, he wait, was he still at Harvard? No, he had just moved out to California, but he had all these young programmers in the room, and they were all drinking, and they were writing code, and they were having these contests to see who could write the code the fastest while they were doing shots of whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, that's a great example. Zuckerberg was thinking already like, I got to just find great programmers. I don't have to do the programming myself.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's so many of these little triggering thoughts that these are making me remember. So I always talk about founders dilemmas, founders dilemma level 1 and level 2. Level 1 is like scarcity of resources, right? So I kind of have to do everything myself till I reach critical mass, just like pulling together and finding I have a product that people want or a service or whatever. So I'm the bookkeeper and the salesperson and the everything. So it's like the dilemma is not having just abundant money to pay somebody else to do something, even though you'd love to hand it off. which is its own challenge. But Founder's Dilemma 2 is kind of what Kendra was talking about, and what you were just talking about, Ed. It's like getting to the point where you need to hand off things that you are good at, like the stuff that got you there, that you are the best at, and being okay with like 80% from somebody else of like proficiency, efficiency, final product, whatever. It's like they're not going to do it to the level that I would, my personal standard, but my personal standard is going to keep me here unless I can let it go. Does that make sense? You don't give up quality control totally, but you just like, you can't micromanage it the way that you used to, or own it totally. Okay, so this calculator gets at that, right? So you have your desired annual salary, what you want the business to make. So basically the combination of those two is like how much, you know, profit there is. Personal investment is, I don't know, like you can, that's money you'd put back in if you want to have something there.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 hours and weeks, just calculate how much time you're going to spend in the business. Okay, it gives you your effective hourly rate. That's the number everything's going to be compared against. Basically what your time is worth, or what you want it to be worth. So then you start entering tasks. So just go to a task description and enter, you know, whatever, answering email or doing bookkeeping, or, you know, whatever, all those kind of things. Yeah. And then how much you'd have to pay somebody else to do that task if it was a person.
Oh, so like how much would they cost an hour?
How much to hire somebody to do it for you? Yeah.
Yeah, probably 20.
Okay. So then add task. Yep. And then add like, yeah, add a couple things. It's fine. There you go. Yeah. CRM management. Good. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Oh yeah, he's got more. Nice.
Oh, I've been
No,
thinking.
that's fine. That's good. Yeah, do another one. That's fine. Okay, so that's probably good. Just scroll down when you get a second, or when you get done with this one. And okay, so now let's see where you're at. So you got 40 hours there. That's 50. Bad math. Okay, so you have 50 hours of work that would cost you $5,000 a month. You know, $4,800 a month to hire someone to do all that stuff. But your potential opportunity cost when comparing the cost of, it's basically what you're paying yourself to do that stuff, is like $360,000 a year, because you're not going out and generating that revenue because you're spending time doing the stuff on that list.
Mm. Oof.
Right. That's exactly the outcome, the reaction we're going for.
I
You're
feel
like,
used,
"Oh."
Matt. I'm the guinea pig.
I know.
Do you think at some point, Matt or somebody could offline like walk me through this?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Can you grab, it was in the, I put it in the studio chat stream, the link, so everybody can grab it and just like get your own version pulled up. I guess you already did.
So should I grab it and like bookmark it or something?
Whatever. Yeah. Just log into it, save it. Yeah. We can connect at some point and go through it. It's pretty simple, and it's not designed to be like pinpoint accurate. It's designed to illustrate a point, you know? There is one more thing that's kind of cool on there, Jonathan. Click back on it real quick if you still got it.
Oh no, it's gone.
I was gonna say, did you save the list? I don't have, maybe I should try to see if you can auto save. But the thing is, like, if you even just enter a couple things, if you save a list, you can name it, and then you can go back to it, and you can create, the other button there is generate job description. So if you have like a set of tasks that you want one person to do, you can then just hit the button and generates a job description, and it averages out the hourly rates to a weighted average. So it's like exactly what you should pay that person, like the hourly rate.
Oh, so Matt, just to catch me up, because you guys got all technical, and the 59-year-old his head is swimming here. So like relate what you just have done with this form to what we were talking about.
Well, so when it gets to like the internal transformation, to the mindset shift, to then like how does that inform my decision making, planning, and what we're actually doing, a lot of times the conclusion is I need to do, well, we know it's like 20% and the other 80% needs to go. Well, not all of that 80% can just disappear. Some of it still needs to get done by someone or by something. And so like in the business, it's eliminate, automate, delegate. Like what can we, in that order. Once you get to the point where like there's things that are left that have to be delegated, like they have to be done by a human. Oop, we lost Ed again. Anyway, that he can watch the recording. That's what the app is for.
Okay, cool.
If you're with me. Yeah. Did we lose you there for a second?
Yeah, just for a second.
Yeah, it's like to understand as we're focusing on the 20%, like what's my 20%? Well, what do we do with the other 80? Especially the part of the 80 we can't just like chuck. Hopefully maybe there's some of it just go away, but there's definitely going to be some of it that can't just go away. It still has to happen. The app, this little app is something I just built, but it's like to encourage people the value of the time, of their own time, and how worthwhile it is to invest in getting help to execute on execution stuff.
Hey, you want to set up a referral base with this?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
I'd love to send my people to this because this is something I give them all the time. And I've never seen it like built this way. And it absolutely, yeah, this is sweet.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, let's figure that out. Like, what do you think? Like, what do you mean? Well, we can talk about it, but curious your thoughts on that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I can send people to the list. You send them to me, and we can work on them together on automating. Because I guarantee you, some of the things that they're going to say is stuff that you guys are doing in Free Flow Nation.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, nice. Yeah, there's a couple other tools I'm working on. There's another one, Jonathan. Actually, I'm using this app thing for like your big three, for weekly big three, which may or may not end up being a thing that we do digitally, but like I just would like to have some tools available to people in the community, I
built a custom GPT for that for myself, and I was thinking about sharing it with my clients, but I have to like pull it so that it stays for them and for me.
Yeah, totally. Well, so Ed is doing no TV. That's funny because there's that movie Ed TV.
I don't know that.
Matthew McConaughey. It's like 20 years old now, but that's a good one. It's back when reality TV was first a thing. Yeah. Jonathan.
Oh, wait, but I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up my reality TV, Matt. Just the other stuff.
Just Netflix. Gotcha. Yeah, I definitely like it. Part of this, weekly thing. I want to have like, what's your takeaway? What's your action item? For everybody. In fact, I have last week's up. Maybe really quick.
Well, and I'll tell you the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start making a list of what do I think I'm uniquely. What was your word, Matt? Uniquely prepared to do or something? Uniquely,
your unique gifting or your
yeah. I'm going to try to look at what I do all week long that is my unique gifting. Like one of those is being a dad, and one of them is not like writing long notes on my clients, right? But I'm going to think about what am I uniquely gifted to do, and how am I actually doing that as much as I could.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I think that's kind of the stage we're at, right? It's this a little bit of self-discovery and awareness, of how we're functioning. And
I think for me, I need to focus on downtime that's away from my phone.
Okay. Yeah.
And even like the getting out in nature, several people reference that and how that can help you get more creative. Like, that's hard in Wyoming at this time of year. I don't know what the weather's going to be doing. But if
Right.
I'm off my phone more, I'll notice more. Is it nice enough that I can go outside for a little bit? You know?
Or you know, I've got a little hack for that one. I don't know if you guys like art or not, but I have this book of Van Gogh art. Then I'll just take a little break and just like sit quietly and just look at beautiful art. And for me, it's like going on a nature walk.
Hmm.
I can see where that would help with creativity.
Totally. Okay, this is good. I want to have something too. I like outdoors. It's gonna be nice this week. I'll do that. I'll be outside. Okay, so 30 minutes outside, no phone.
Per
That's
day?
tough.
Yeah, I think that's doable.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes, 75 hard. Let's say at least 3 times this week. Okay, how about that? I'll shoot for every day. I'll be okay with 3 times.
Are you doing 75 hard, Matt?
No, but have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of
This kind of stuff is part of that. I even tried to do a modified one time and failed. It's like
It's
but
nuts.
I could see us doing something like that. Maybe. It's intense though.
Huh. I'll send another one for me that I put down as a goal before, which is just to every day have at least some sort of a real touch with my kids. Some kind of, whether it's a text or a conversation, just some sort of a emotional, hey, how you doing? Something real with my 3 kids every day.
Nice. Nice. All right. Cool. I know last week's for Jonathan and Kendra they're kind of like all of our things were a little bit, I don't know how to, ethereal or something, but Jonathan, you were thinking about being more willing to outsource. Kendra, you were just talking about like, what does God say about me, and like the release, kind of like breathing. And I was like, well, I forget. I didn't even write down my own. Oh yeah, I did. What does a 10x goal look like for me? And I think mine was the answer to that question. Like what I started with today, it was like, if it's powered by love and not by scarcity, then at least it's categorically correct. So like growing this group, and our accelerator, but growing our groups is like big for me.
So here's the way that I can throw a wrench into this whole thing, Matt, that I think is a good wrench, is that all the stuff that I wrote down is stuff that I think I want to do, that I think I need to do. Whereas what I try to do in my practice of listening prayer is open my mind to saying, God, what do you want me to know? What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And so maybe I'm jumping a little bit ahead here, making the assumption that I know best what I should do.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe like this week reflecting on that and asking the question is a good start. Yeah, for sure. I think that like going through this process together also can contribute to that, because like, when you have an idea that hits that, like, it's the right thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, just real quick, Kendra and Jonathan, I'd like to catch up just how to go with that stuff from last week.
Well, I did a lot of chewing on it, and I actually built a like a couple of job descriptions for people that I'd like to hire.
Nice.
Kind of like went through that process a little bit, and then like even doing like an over under on connecting with partners, like contracting with partners, that kind of thing. And like the practical step though was like what's required of my income level to make that a consistent part. And That's kind of where I'm sitting at right now, is like kind of making sure that I'm eliminating stuff that's not directly related to income so that I can get to the point where I'm now at a momentum level and not just keeping the doors open.
Right. Like, no, nice. Yeah.
Mine was just reflecting on our conversation a little bit. And like I said, it answered some questions for me about whether I need to seek out another Bible study group or anything like that. And it decided not to. I just really need to dive into this one. So I got the book, started listening to the book, and like those were
Nice.
the actions that I took to just solidify, and then like reaching out and asking you, are we meeting today? And
Yeah.
making it a priority.
Nice. Yeah. Good. I know. I'm sorry that wasn't like obvious. We're working through our our messages, like our whatever, our info, make sure that's available for everybody.
Yeah, that's okay.
Do you guys like, would Slack be a way that we could talk? Or Anne, what were you thinking? Like we could.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we should definitely have a Slack channel just specifically for this group, and then we can pin if we want to have like a living document like Ed suggested. That would be a great. It can be pinned right on top, so anyone can access it.
Yeah. So using like using the Facebook community or our private community?
We can do either or. So when I was looking more into the issue that we were having, it may have been Riverside, like I was saying, because I think people might use it as a workaround to try to go live on Facebook, and you need 100 people in a group to go live on Facebook, which is probably why we're live on YouTube but not Facebook.
Hey, could I ask you a question, Matt?
Yeah.
What's the purpose of like having this thing go live on something?
To
Like,
attract more people.
So that, but does that mean that other people can just like log on and listen to us?
I guess. I mean, what did it actually go live on YouTube? I mean, it basically just like creates. I don't really know. I don't know. I just like, we're trying to get, this is supposed to be like, I want to grow this. This is public.
Yeah, no, and I'm all for that. I just wasn't sure, like, from the standpoint of kind of vulnerability, who else would be like listening to it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It
But
helps.
I don't
It helps
know.
the YouTube account be found if you have live events, even if you pull them later.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't. I mean, for me, I'm fine with everything that I shared could go public. I think. Maybe. Ooh.
Yeah. I feel like I mean, hopefully, well, we can talk about it, I guess, but I mean,
Matt, I mean, sorry, but now I think about it, maybe not, because like there could be some kind of personal stuff that gets shared that I don't know. I feel comfortable with anybody being able to access it.
yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, it's your thing though, man. I don't want to.
Well, I think that like, yeah, I understand there's like some depth to this for sure. I don't know. The idea is not to get into like a therapy session where it's like
For sure.
deepest, darkest stuff. You know, it's like business oriented. And it is, I mean, it's very personal still. I get it, you know. I don't know. How do you guys all feel?
I'm probably a little bit more open to it just because I go live all the time. It's part of my business model. And so I get what you're doing with that. And I'm on camera frequently and like sharing. So
Yeah,
it's not a big deal to me, but I can see where it could, I could see some objections to it, I guess.
mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's not. It makes sense. Yeah.
I don't think I'd be against it. It's good to know what it would be.
Yeah. I think like we can be really upfront about it. It's like we're digging in, but it's like I don't want to like go unearth a whole bunch of trauma and like or not to be dealt with here in the group anyway.
Right.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? And like
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to feel like they have to share anything. There's no obligation to share. But it's just like, how is this moving us forward? Where am I stuck in like these areas that we're trying to address? If it's, you see a lot of stuff in your work, Ed, that I think is like going to be formative and layers deeper than what we're getting at, or it might be in the same depth, but it's just like you're going to go way into it.
Yeah,
with
but
them,
this is
and we
good
don't
though.
need to do
But
that.
yeah, and I don't think I agree with you. I don't think that's where I don't think that's where this group should go. So.
Yeah. No, we can we can feel it out. The only reason I was even thinking about putting it out there is just like people might come across it and be like, oh, I like want to check that out.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. I need to call my wife back. She's got an urgent question for me. So,
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
yeah.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, guys.
Keep inviting
Have a good
people.
week.
Let's yeah. We'll keep it going.
Oh, Max, real quick. So should we look for something? What did you call it? Call it Slack or something? Just look for something.